Hey guys, we're here in Federal Way at a nursing facility. We got Keoni. We're getting ready to pump out an exterior gravity grease interceptor. Stay tuned and we'll walk you through the step-by-step process. All right, so Keoni's hooking up a 3-inch hose that we use to pump out gravity grease interceptors. This one's about 70-foot long hose, which isn't something we normally run. All right, so we got him using a lid hook to pull the lids out, so we can do a visual inspection of the tank. This one's nasty. So this is the primary tank. So this is what takes the brunt of all your food waste coming from the kitchen, scraping the plates off, prep bowls, prep utensils, everything they do to get food ready to eat comes in this tank. This darker orange looking material looks a lot like cooking oil. So that's probably something we need to talk to them about. Making sure they're dumping their used cooking oil into the used cooking oil collection tanks and not into down the drains. That'll cause drainage issues. So right here, Keoni's using the stinger to measure the liquid level, so we don't have to get our tape measures and other measuring stuff dirty. If I were to guess, I'd say it's 56 inches. 57. Nope, 56, on the money. All right, so you can see the water after just sticking the stinger in there. So that top layer is cake, crust, what do you want to call it? It's the fats, oils, and greases that float to the surface to create a little bit of a thick layer. And then you got water right underneath that. And then at the very bottom, you're gonna have your food solids. So when we measure for our fog levels, we want to measure the top layer, the bottom food solids, and divide that by the liquid height to get the percentage of how much fog is in this grease trap. Now we're walking over to get the truck started, get ready to start pumping. This truck pulls about 22 inches of vacuum. For a trap this size, that'll be plenty. Keoni's getting our homemade mixer assembled right now. We're using a Milwaukee whole hog. A little easier to manage than running a gasoline auger system. This is our homemade mixing device. This will help mix up all the solids in the tank, make it a little easier to pump out. So by mixing the tank like this, it helps ensure that we can get all the heavy solids pumped out without having to try to get between the two lids. So this tank right here is your first line of defense from it going into fats, oils, and grease going into your sewer system. So if this tank fails for whatever reason and grease discharges, it goes into your secondary tank, which this is your last defense for it going to the city sewer system. And if you look down that pipe right there, you can see a little bit of food chunks exiting the grease trap. So this thing fails on the fog discharge. So now that he let it breathe a little bit, slam it, now it'll start pumping like it should. Good thing about a lot of these commercial buildings, we got good water access, high power, high pressure. So this place is awesome. It's got hot water on the outside connection, which will help break down this grease better for us. Yeah, so right now he's just cleaning off the mixer blade, the ring of the trap, so the lid sits better on there. Yep. So right now we're knocking off the cake layer that got stuck to the wall. This is part of our normal procedures that we do to make sure a grease trap's cleaned thoroughly. For when the inspectors come out and look at it, they don't have to ask questions. We just take care of it all right now. The acids, the chemicals they probably use to wash down the drains is eating the concrete off and exposing all the aggregate. So this tank will fail probably within the next couple of years if we don't get in here and try to use some hydraulic cement or a tank liner to get this thing to stop getting eaten by the acidics. This kind of trap with the exposed aggregate's a little more of a challenge to get the scraper on, because we also don't want to damage the wall any more than it already is and start knocking rocks out. All right, so Keoni's now going to measure the width and the length of the tank, and we'll go over how we get our gallon sizing. So 24. Roughly 24. So now he's getting the length of the grease interceptor measured. So we got 139 by 70. Measurements that he just did, put them in the calculator. Go ahead.
Start off with the width, 23 plus 24 plus 26.
That gives us 73 inches wide.
Multiply
Times that by
the depth or the height of the trap.
the liquid height of the trap.
139.
The length gives us 5,000. No, you're good. And that gives us just under 2,500 gallons of liquid capacity.
Just giving me a hard time. Pardon my language.
All right, so now we're cleaning out the secondary tank. This is the last tank before it goes to the city sewer system.
A little bit more.
With this trap in the condition it's in, we're not gonna do a normal cleaning on this. We're gonna do a little bit less just because we don't wanna have any more damage to these walls and the bottom. So we'll get as much off of the walls as we can with the hot water, but we'll probably be leaving a little bit caked to the walls. This tank is completely failing. That's the metal for the structural component of the tank. So it's eating that much of the concrete away that it's exposing the metal. It's not rebar, I don't know what they use for it, metal wire, but yeah, this one's definitely gonna have to get, we could try to replace it, but it might be a new install. Yeah, this might not have 2 years.
They haven't really eaten it away like that?
Huh?
They really eat it away?
Oh yeah, there's so much acidic in this stuff. Yeah, you can see even when he's using the water, it's moving the ground away. This one could be any minute he punches through the bottom. So I don't know, maybe I won't have him clean it as well as we normally do. Not to mention we don't want all those rocks inside of our tank slamming against the walls. That's a big brick. I don't know where that came from.
That stuff right there is big.
Yep. Since we're kind of a truss industry, a lot of the times we're not here when the restaurant or the facility's open. So this way they can definitely see that we were actually out here doing work. Taking our final photo, showing we put the tank back the way we found it, if not better. All right, we just had Keoni finish up here at the nursing facility. We are all buttoned up, ready to go. He did a good job. Nice work, son.